Got a delicious granola recipe for you today. I call it game-changing because it's gluten-free, grain-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free. And you can even make it nut-free if you've got nut-free intolerances in your life. So the easiest thing about this recipe is that we're going to use 1 kilo of your favorite nuts. So I've got in here almonds and walnuts and cashews and hazelnuts. So it's just 1 kilo of your favorite nuts. We're then going to flavor it. So because this is sugar-free, we have to think about other ways to make this interesting to sort of all palates. So I've got some cinnamon. To sweeten it without spiking our blood sugars, we're going to add some stevia. Now it's just enough to sort of take the edge off. If you wanted to use another kind of alternative sweetener, you're more than welcome. I just find that this sort of maintains the crunchiness. We've also got some raw cacao, or cocoa if you can only get access to that. This has got all sorts of antioxidant properties, but it also adds another flavor. So the cinnamon, the stevia, and the cacao really help with flavor. So I've got some goji berries. They can be a little bit chewy and textural, so you might want to only put half in for the cooking process and then half at the other end, because they're also colorful, because they will change color with all of that cocoa. So we're going to put half in and we'll put half in at the end. You can replace these with dried blueberries if you wanted to, or your other favorite dried fruit. Similarly with the coconut, you could use shredded, or you could use flaked, or you could use desiccated. I'm going to use shredded today. Again, it's got a slight chewy factor. We're going to cook half of it and then put half of it in at the end. To bring all of these dry ingredients together and make sure that the nuts are evenly toasting in the oven, I've got some coconut oil here. This allows this recipe to remain vegan, which is pretty cool because then you're satisfying just another choice there. So you can use as much as or as little as you like. I tend to use about 50 grams for that kilo, and that's just enough to bring it all together. Now we're just going to mix all of this together. So it really couldn't be easier. As soon as the oil hits the cacao and the cinnamon, you can smell it already. So all of those nuts and seeds are thoroughly coated in that cacao and coconut oil mix. They're all really glossy, so we can put them in the tray. So it really doesn't get much more simple than this. So we just want to make sure it's a nice even layer. You may have to turn it a couple times in the oven. A little bit of salt really helps counteract the bitterness of the cacao, but it also helps flavor the nuts. So we're going to put this into the oven at 100 degrees for 4 hours and turn it twice during that time. So our granola had 4 hours in the oven at 100 degrees. It's been cooling for a while now, so we can easily touch it. That allows it to crisp up. And you can see that it's not glossy anymore. So I'm going to put about half of this into the food processor so that we've got multiple textures. You don't want to be every spoonful having a full face of nuts. So now you can see all of the colors and textures in there. You can always serve it with fresh fruit or yogurt, or you can even grind it even finer and it can become a crumb on a dessert plate. So as I said, airtight container for up to 4 weeks, because we all get a little bit time poor. So this saves us thinking about breakfast. So it looks like we're going to fill up this jar and have just a single serving for me to enjoy. Also makes a great present. Look at that. Really happy with that. Really tasty. Do it yourself at home.